Satisfactory's 1.2 update is coming soon, but we've seen very little about it so far. Or at least that's what it seems like. But in usual Coffee Stain Studios fashion, we have gotten some short teasers that are a lot more than they seem. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the hidden secrets from recent Satisfactory videos, but I'll try to keep it short, because other people like Total Eclipse have already gone in depth on a few of these. So let's get into it. Release date. So we don't have a release date for 1.2 yet. I've seen a lot of people asking, but no one knows. All that we've been told is that it's the first half of 2026, and most likely it will be released on the experimental branch of the game first. As we know from previous updates, sometimes there are unexpected roadblocks, but also Coffee Stain tends to underpromise and overdeliver. So if it was on the earlier rather than later half of the first half of the year, I wouldn't be surprised. Mikhail has said though that all of the features for 1.2 are decided and set in stone.
The 1.2 feature list is complete, and we have settled on exactly what's going to be in there, and we can say this confidently now that the entire team for the moment is actually back on 1.2. We are aiming to get 1.2 out to you sometime during the first half of next year. It won't release until the first half of next year. Is it January? Is it June? Who can say?
Fluid Truck. This one isn't a secret, and it's actually the first major 1.2 feature that we learned about, and that is fluid trucks, along with fluid truck stops that feature a pipe input. Depending on how you play this game, this could be super exciting or really underwhelming. Plenty of players actively avoid trucks because both belts and trains are usually better, and the fluid train is already kinda considered to be bad in favor of pipes or packaging. So while this is cool to have, and it means trains and trucks are a little more equal now, it'll be interesting to see if anyone actually uses it. After all, fluids and trucks are both super janky, so combining them is a rough time. Speaking of trucks though, Mikhail has also implied that making truck routes might get easier in 1.2, so we'll just have to see if maybe, just maybe, trucks are gonna get a little better.
We are very actively looking into this, I promise. It would be a shame if the fluid truck that we have confirmed would be painful to use rather than fun. It is actively being looked into.
Random nodes. The next hint comes from the merch video, which you wouldn't expect there to be a hint in. And yet, when we see Jason roll some dice, the node he's hand mining changes. This, to me, and to many others, implies that 1.2 will come with a node randomization option. When I had Emmett, the game director of Satisfactory, on a video recently, he was pretty vocal about how hard it would be to pull off, but I'm pretty sure he was deflecting.
It could work, but it's very like, this is not, we have no idea how this experience is going to go now. If you do this, like, good luck, because it's like, there's no possible way. There's hundreds of nodes on the map. Like, there's no way we could test every scenario and make sure that like it just everything is even possible to complete.
Node randomization is almost definitely coming, but in what form we don't know yet. We have been told that we're getting new game modes, and this seems like a good one to start with. I've gotten so many comments on my last video with Emmett about how people think that randomized nodes could work, so I've seen just from that there are limitless options about how this game mode could happen. New menu options. I didn't see anyone else mention this, but I found a few new menu options in the Fixmas video. Incredibly briefly, we catch a glimpse of the menu when we're shown how to disable seasonal events. In the settings, there are two new tabs called World and Debug. However, these could just be developer-only options that we're not supposed to see, but they could also be new options for 1.2 that give players a little bit more power over their game. We don't get to see anything more beyond that, so I can't really speculate, but they are there. However, the video then goes into the gameplay settings where we see a new setting that toggles whether going into the menu pauses the game, which is honestly a much needed feature. It sucks that this primarily single player game doesn't have the ability to pause it. Again, this could just be a dev build and players won't have that option, but I actually think this one is real, because I also noticed that many existing settings on this page have been reworded or redesigned in order to be more clear about what they do. And as far as I can tell, I think all of these are either good changes or don't really affect the readability. Keyboard and mouse on console. 1.2 will contain keyboard support for console players. That is very exciting, for sure, as even though the controller implementation for this game is quite good, there are so many controls that it really lends itself better to keyboard and mouse. Rain and weather. Rain was supposed to be in 1.1, but it didn't work out. However, Mikkel said that the odds are looking, quote, pretty good that it will make it into 1.2.
All I'm saying there, again, is we hoped to have raining for 1.1. We almost made it, and now we have another X months to make it before 1.2, which is even more time, so the odds are looking pretty fucking good, aren't they?
As an enjoyer of Rain back when it was very briefly in the game, I am looking forward to this. This does not fully confirm it, but hopefully it does happen. There is some additional evidence though. In the sound design video, there is an open tab in the audio program titled Weather Rain Intensity, and it's the only other project open other than the one that we're being shown as an example. So that feels like one of Coffee Stain's intentional teases. Plus, during the outro, we see Jason sitting near a window, and if you pay close attention, the raindrops we see on the window look more like animations than actual real-life rain. This seems to be a hint that's hidden in plain sight once you see it. Golf? Okay, golf is one of the oldest jokes in the Satisfactory community, and it doesn't really seem like something that's ever going to be added. It's a good running joke, we're having a good time. I don't know that too many people realistically are expecting it at this point. But every video from Coffee Stain has some sort of teaser, and the Happy Holidays video was mostly about golf, and there wasn't really anything else. And technically, the words "we are adding golf to Satisfactory" were said.
And now I can finally do what everyone's been too scared to do. First, I started by modeling a golf course in Blender, then designed some core gameplay functionality. Now I just have a couple more hurdles to jump over and some paperwork with the PGA to sign. But now I can finally say, we're adding golf to Satisfactory. No!
And technically, it was stated that golf would be added to Satisfactory. All the words were said. But I wonder what it'll look like if we were actually getting something. While a full-on golf course or a mini-game would be cool, I can imagine them adding a golf swing emote or a golf club weapon, something like that. There's not enough in the video to say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was something small, just to sort of appease and put a cap on the joke. A golf club weapon is probably the most reasonable guess based on what little evidence we have, since we see Mikkel dealing damage to Jason in the video. A Xenobasher reskin would make a lot of sense, or maybe just a unique item that is acquired in a special way, like the Cyberwagon. After 1.2. Players have asked a lot of questions about many features, and we've learned that there are some features being planned for after 1.2 that aren't making it into this update. The first post 1.2 plan is, of course, future content updates like 1.1 and 1.2, as well as the eventual DLC, which we still don't know anything about. But on a live stream, it was said that there was big content planned for the future, and that 2026 was mostly going to be about 1.2, but near the end of the year, we might get some big info.
Next year will absolutely be a 1.2 focus year in the beginning, and we should probably be able to excite you a fair bit more openly. Yeah, that's where I'll draw the line.
So we will just have to wait and see. But it's really encouraging to hear that Satisfactory is getting support and new features for several years after its full release. But other things are also in the works. When asked about curved walls, Mikkel hinted that in the future we could get curved walls of some kind, since the team is aware that people want them, as well as curved building in general. When asked about further character customization, he said that is also on the radar for later. So there's a ton of stuff that Coffee Stain is still thinking about that I think has a good chance of making it into the game at some point. We just might have to wait a little longer. So that's everything that I've seen that I'm theorizing is going to be in 1.2 based on the teasers we've seen so far. I'm excited for some actual trailers with actual hard evidence, but for now, this is what we're working with. Thanks so much for watching this little video. I hope you had a great winter holiday season, whatever you celebrate, and hopefully took some relaxing time off, maybe some time to play Satisfactory. And I will see you in the next video in the new year.